Welcome back, everyone. Now, if you're wondering why Paolo was not on the show last week, well, that's because he took a trip to Osaka, Japan without us. But because he doesn't want us to miss out on what he saw and experienced, he decided to let us in on his vacation. How nice. Let's watch this.
All right, welcome to my vacation, Osaka, Japan.
Usually thought of as Tokyo's smaller sister, Osaka is a bustling industrial city filled with modern architecture, fashion, and great eating. Though it may not be the first city that comes to mind when you think of Japan, Osaka has an energy all of its own and definitely warrants a visit. The beauty of Osaka is right alongside all the neon pachinko parlors and kooky plastic food outside every restaurant. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Japan of old. Kyoto's rustic temples, Arashiyama's mountainside shrines, and smaller towns where time seems to have stood still are just a train ride away, and are just as important a part of the Osaka experience. One can start to experience Osaka by taking in the city sights, the famous 2-kilometer-long shopping street Shinsaibashi, and the neon glow of Ebisubashi Bridge, one of the best places to start sampling the great food that Osaka has to offer. Just look for the red lanterns that announce an izakaya or casual bar, and let the sushi fest begin. There's more to eating Japanese than sushi though. Okonomiyaki, ramen, and omuraisu are just some of the great eating that Osaka is known for, and it all goes down well with a cold beer. But if you're on a quest for the best sushi though, there's one place that you can't miss.
If you're looking for the freshest sushi in town, then you gotta head straight for the source, Osaka Central Market.
Tons of the freshest seafood passes through Osaka's Central Market and eventually onto someone's plate in Osaka. As long as it swims and comes from the ocean, you can bet the Japanese are eating it. You have to start early to catch the tail end of the tuna processing action, which happens in the wee hours. But if you time your visit well, all roads end at the Endo Sushi Shop by breakfast time. They serve seafood so fresh, it'd have to be moving to be any fresher. After you find your bearings in the city, and it doesn't take more than a day to do that, it's time to explore and soak in some local culture. Arima is just an hour away from Osaka by bus or train, and it's the best way to literally immerse yourself in a quintessentially Japanese experience. Arima is a hot spring town, home of mineral-rich and very red ginseng springs, which is pumped into the bathhouses from the natural hot springs in the area. It's also where you'll find delicious local delicacies called tansan biscuits and some of the smallest parking spaces in the world. Onsens are a shared experience. Men bathe with other men and women with other women. And like all things Japanese, there's a correct way to take a hot spring bath. First, you shower and scrub, then you soak. Just make sure you know which side is the men's side and which side is the women's side before you go in.
Well, after making the mistake of going into the women's bath, that caused quite a scandal, I'm now relaxing in a men's onsen, hot bath.
After a leisurely soak, take the time to explore the town and sample some of the local delicacies and local crafts which are still passed on from master to apprentice, just like the old days. And you should take the opportunity to get lost in some of the old shrines and temples in the area too. all that walking, you'll want to soak your aching feet again before boarding the bus and heading back into the city.
Now you know where miso soup comes from.
Osaka is nicknamed Kuridaore no Machi, or the city where you eat till you drop. But you don't have to be sitting down at a table to find good food. You can start as soon as you get on the train to the best eating in town.
That over, a little bit of seaweed origami. Boom. You got a rice snack right there.
Good.
Some of the best flavors are found just a train ride away at the Nishiki Market in Kyoto.
Some fried eggs from the fried shop.
It's good. Oh. And you don't have to look very far to find more than the usual fare. The sights, sounds, and flavors are all there for those with an adventurous palate. You just have to keep your eyes open.
You ever get the feeling somebody's watching us?
Well, all good things come to an end, and always sooner than we'd like. So see the sights, enjoy the food, and maybe even learn the language. But before long, it's time to pack our bags and wave goodbye to Osaka. But just until the next trip.
You just made us jealous more than that.
You guys like that? You guys like that? I gotta say, the eating is good out there.
Very
That was
hungry.
awesome.